Good afternoon, everybody, or hello, happy whatever it is for you. Daytime doesn't matter because reading is the focus for today. I am Tanisha, Talking Books with Tanisha, and I'm so excited to be here with you today to talk about the next book I've been reading. It's always going to be a next book and another book, and the book I'll be reading next. So excited. This book is something that I came across actually from Third Place Books. We were hosting a Black book fair for an event that one of my friends created called Black Voices in the district that I work in. And this was at a book that kind of I just grabbed. I actually bought a bunch of books. This is a book that's been kind of sitting in my to be read pile. And I pulled it out on vacation and I took it with me and I said, I wonder if I will, like, how will I feel about this story? Like, will I be excited about it? I wasn't really sure. And here's like the full cover. You can kind of see it. I really love the fact that this, let's see if I can get it. It's that this character has like a laptop. There it goes. A laptop that has all different kinds of stuff. The character's name is Tessa. The laptop's important, and so is all the things on her laptop because she's a writer. Tessa is a very talented and gifted writer. She actually was accepted to a really prestigious art school. She is specializing in creative writing. And she gets to this school and she's super shy about her writing. Only her best friend has ever read any of her stories. She specializes in romance. And she's just really shy about it. She doesn't like to share her work. She doesn't like to talk about her work. She's a biracial um, young teen writer, and she wants to write about falling in love. And she has never actually fell in love before. So she gets accepted to the school. Actually, her family moves from the city that she was living in to another city, to Long Beach. I'm going to lean this way so you can see Tessa and all the great things that Tessa has to offer. Um, so they move to Long Beach, and Tessa knows no one. Her best friend in the world, Carolyn, is still living back where Tessa originally lived. And they talk on the phone all the time, but things feel a little bit different. And Tessa starts to feel like that too. In the meantime, she meets one of her neighbors who is just kind of like that goofy kid that people think is probably really nice, but not really attractive, or anyone you want to actually be dating. Like, who would ever imagine dating like her neighbor? Um, and I was going to tell you her neighbor Sam is his name. Sam's the neighbor. And Sam is really sweet. He actually literally is a sweet person. He is a culinary chef, and so he likes to bake. And that's one of the ways in which he meets Tessa. Tessa's brother also has disabilities, and so there's a run in with like some pizza and a mishap, and Sam comes and brings the pizza back, and next thing you know, like, Sam is giving Tessa rides to school every day, but Tessa's a little bit embarrassed about knowing Sam. She also, though, needs like some friends, and so she runs into someone who becomes like a really good friend, introduces her to other friends, and like now she has a little group of friends. The one thing that Tessa doesn't have though anymore is a desire to write. Like, she actually has writer's block. She's sitting in her very first class. She's super excited about it. It's called The Art of Novel, and she's ready because she's been writing these books for so long. Sits down, is ready to start writing, and nothing comes. Writer's block, and I mean severe writer's block. The idea that she's not good enough, that no one would ever want to read her writing. Like, who is she to tell a story? How did she get into this school? All those thoughts come across her head, and she can't write anymore. She's just really stuck. And her best friend Carolyn comes up with a really good idea. What if maybe the reason why you're stuck is because you're writing about love and you don't have a love story? What if you were to create a love story, and then maybe like your inspiration for writing will come back? And there's the perfect subject for this love story, Nico. And Nico is everything you think he is. He's tall, he's attractive, he's a guy that everyone wants but no one can get. And literally, Tessa right now can't because Nico also has a girlfriend, Poppy. So there's all these kind of complications, and yet Tessa's really stuck. She's failing her class. She doesn't have the desire to write. She feels really lost. She feels like she's actually losing her best friend Carolyn, and she needs something to happen. Um, and so this is the story of her trying to navigate that reality for herself. Like, what if she could have her happily ever after? What would that look like? And what does happy ever after even like really mean, right? So in this really, I actually love the setting because it's in this school that everyone gets to kind of shine. They have a film and theater school. They have a fashion design school. They call them conservatories. They have the writing conservatory. They have the culinary arts conservatory. They have all these different conservatories, and everyone gets a chance to kind of shine and be their best selves and live their best lives. And Tessa's really stuck. Like she really is struggling. And so part of the story of Happily Ever Afters by Elise Bryant is trying to figure out what's blocking her story. When does she start thinking that she's valuable? What does friendship actually mean? And what does it mean to like sometimes not realize what you have right in front of your face? One of the things I really appreciate about this story is that Tessa's reality of being a biracial young person with a brother with disabilities is pretty like detailed. They really do talk about her father who is black, her mother who is white, the similarities they have, what it means to like deal with race, what it means to be around people who are really all different kinds of identities, and also racially. Sam, her neighbor, is like a rich white boy who loves culinary arts. His mom happens to be a TV star. Like, what does it mean to kind of navigate that world? The haves and the have-nots, and in the middle of this, like just trying to tell a story. Like she really is not about trying to be the poster child for like all black issues. She's a black person who happens to love writing, who's in a school that's focused on arts, and she's an artist. And so, really having space and time to tell that story, I really appreciate Elise Bryant for bringing this story to us. Um, I really appreciated just being able to read it. Like I really enjoyed this story. This is the story. This is the book. You're reading a book, and all of a sudden you get to the end. You're like, wait a second, what? Like I'm finished? I wasn't ready to be finished yet. That's how I felt about this book. And so I hope that you will have a chance to read it. I hope that you'll be just as into it as I was. Some of the recipes that Sam bakes in this book are amazing. They sound delicious, and so I really want to figure out where I can buy some. I actually looked up one of the recipes and looked up a local place that delivers some of the things that he was talking about in this book. So maybe your taste buds will be invigorated as well. But mostly, I hope you really are inspired by what it means like to have your own craft and your own art. Tessa ends up figuring out what works for her. I hope you find out what works for you. Find this book, Happily Ever Afters by Elise Bryant. Thanks for being here. Until next book, see you later. Thanks.